Well, digital activism is individuals, collectives, social movements.
So firstly, the way that we see our kind of digital activism at Amnesty is to situate it within wider activism.
For me, digital activism is using the new information technology to defend the cause like freedom of expression or
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. We are from Group 1C for subject Computer Ethics and Cyber Law Group Project. So today we are going to discuss about the digital activism defending our digital rights. Okay, so here is our team members. Myself, Ahmad Shahmi, Ahmad Haikal Danish, Solehudin Yusuf, Muhammad Iman bin Izham, Harith Nazriel, Farhan bin Izam Fairus and Aliff Haikal. So I will proceed to the next person.
Hi and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Solehudin Yusuf and today I'm going to present about the introduction. So in today's digital age, the internet and social media have become powerful tools for activism and also civic engagement. It allows individuals to raise awareness, organize movements and push for change. This project also explores how digital activism works, its benefits and risks, and the legal and ethical challenges it possesses. Especially in the Malaysia context, while promoting responsibility through digital citizenship and through real-life example and a proposed awareness through campaign. Now I am going to talk about the global case study, and our team focuses on the current scenario, which is the Arab Spring. So what is Arab Spring? So Arab Spring was a wave of protests that swept across the Middle East and also North Africa around about 2010 to 2012. So one of the key forces behind this movement was the use of social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter and also YouTube. And the activists use this platform in powerful ways, which is to spread news and mobilize protests, to document state violence, making government abuse visible to the world, to bypass censorship, especially in countries with strict media control, and importantly, to coordinate actions in real time, helping protesters gather and respond quickly. And one well-known example is the We Are All Khalid Say. It is a campaign in Egypt. It went viral online and brought people together in protest against police brutality. So this digital movement also played a big role in the eventual resignation of President Hosni Mubarak. However, this came with many challenges and risks. One of it is government crackdowns, which is internet blackouts, arrests and surveillance, civil wars in Syria and Libya, activists jailed, tortured or killed, highlighted the personal risk of online dissent. And the next one is the legal and ethical implications. One of it is raised conflict between freedom of expression versus state control. UDHR Article 19 supports the right to share and receive information. And also the lastly is questions about tech companies and government's role in protecting digital rights.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Today I will be talking about digital activism in Malaysia, how people are using the internet and social media for fight for justice, democracy and human rights. Okay, so for the first part, we have a digital activism and key figures in Malaysia. In Malaysia, digital activism has become a powerful tool for change. Social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram and Twitter are used to educate the public and amplify voices calling for reform. One well-known figure is Fahmi Reza, a graphic designer and activist. He started Kelas Demokrasi, an online initiative that explains political topics in simple terms. Using short video and live streams, he helped especially young Malaysians understand their rights and the democratic system. His goal is to encourage people, especially the first-time voters, to get involved and think critically about politics. Okay, so for the part 2, we have a grassroots movement and online mobilization. So we have also seen digital activism take shape through large movements like #Lawan and Bersih 2.0. #Lawan was driven by youth who use hashtag, viral content and online petition to protest government mismanagement and economy issue. On the other hand, Bersih 2.0, which has long pushed for clean and fair election, moved much of its work online, especially during times when public gatherings were not allowed, which is in the COVID-19 situation. Writers and media columnists also playing a role by promoting responsible online engagement and digital literacy, reminding us that activism should be ethical and sustainable. And last but not least is a legal challenge and advocacy for rights. However, digital activists face many legal obstacles like law like the Communication and Multimedia Act and the Sedition Act are used to limit online expression. Activists can be investigated, censored, or even charged for posting critical opinions. Despite this, groups like the SINA project continue to document this issue and fight for digital rights. They are calling for the repeal or reform of restrictive laws and pushing for greater transparency in how online spaces are governed. So, in a conclusion, digital activism in Malaysia is growing and evolving. It combines education, creativity, online movement, and legal advocacy to push for a better society. But to keep it going, we must balance our legal limitation and ethical responsibility. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Farhan bin Izam Fairus. So now, for my part, I will be presenting about the ethical theories applied. So, in understanding this, there are three in the project that I've searched. First is utilitarianism. So, the main point of utilitarianism is like justifies digital activism that maximize the societal benefits, even if it will involve risk. For example, that I can say is the Arab Spring used social media to overthrow dictators, accepting personal risk for collective freedom. For Malaysia, is Lawan. This is a mobilized online government accountability in prioritizing public goods over individual safety. Next, for virtue ethics. Virtue ethics mainly highlights the moral character of the activist as the central to ethical advocacy. So, for the example that I can say is Fahmi Reza's class democracy. So, it exemplifies virtues like transparency in educating youth and courage for facing legal threats. So, what I can say virtue ethics is also focused on the moral character for the activist. Lastly, is deontology. So, the main point for deontology is to uphold digital activism as a moral duty. It's also bound by principles like free speech and non-harm. So, for the example that I can say for now, is the opposition to Malaysia's Sedition Act is framed as duty to resist unjust laws, also as the right to speak Malaysia campaign. It adheres to the deontological issues, which is avoid hate speech, defamation, or violence, while advocating for rights. Okay, I think that's all from me, and continue with the next person.
So, legal consideration in Malaysia. Section 233 Communication and Multimedia Act CMA 1998 prohibits sharing content that is offense, false, or indecent via online platforms. Originally meant to protect users but often used to suppress dissent and criticism. Section Act 1948 criminalize statements that incite hatred, disloyalty, or dissatisfaction against the government or monarchy. Still enforced today, limiting political discourage and online criticism. Criminal defamation and civil lawsuits. Individuals can be prosecuted or sued for damaging reputation through online statement. Need for legal literacy. Activists meet and must understand applicable laws to avoid unintended legal consequences.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Harith and I will be explaining the ethical consideration analysis. First, the ethical analysis of digital activism emphasizes the importance of conducting online advocacy in a responsible and respectful manner. One of the core principles is verification of information before sharing to prevent the spread of false or misleading content that could harm an individual or ruin a person's reputation. Activists are ethically obligated to ensure the accuracy of what they post, as misinformation can damage a person's reputation and undermine the credibility of a movement. Next. Another key ethical concern is respect for privacy and dignity. Activists should not engage in doxing, share private information without consent, or use defamatory or insulting language, even when confronting injustice. Upholding integrity means avoiding online harassment, hate speech, and personal attacks. Instead, ethical digital activism should promote unity, constructive dialogue, and public awareness. The goal is to educate, engage, and empower people through positive means rather than through provocation or hostility. Real life examples are Fahmi Reza's class democracy and the hashtag Lawan campaign show how activism can be carried out ethically without and raise political awareness and encouraging civic participation without spreading misinformation or and avoiding personal attacks. Overall, ethical activism aligns with international and local human rights principles, including Article 9 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and Article 10 of Malaysian Federal Constitution. That is all from me. Thank you very much.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, I'll be presenting about the campaign or creative component explanation. First of all, my name is Muhammad Iman bin Izham and my student ID is 22006344. The campaign that our team has chosen is hashtag Right to Speak MY. So, the objective of this campaign is to raise awareness about the importance of digital free speech and educate the public on how laws like the Sedition Act and the Communications and Multimedia Act CMA 1998 affect online expression in Malaysia. The target audience for this campaign is Malaysia youth, for example, university students, youth entrepreneurs, and youth activists and volunteers. Next one is digital content creators and influencers such as YouTubers, TikTok creators, bloggers, and podcasters. Last but not least, middle class workers such as office staff, journalists, and civil servants. So, the slogan for this campaign is Your Voice, Your Right. The sample materials that can be used on this campaign is poster or banner, which is a visual design featuring the targeted topics of events, such as use your voice, your right slogan. Next is mock social media posts. Malaysians deserve the freedom to speak up without fear. Use taglines such as "Let's stand together for our hashtag right to speak MY." Next is simple action plan. Host a virtual forum on digital rights featuring activists and lawyers. Starts an online petition urging reform of laws that overly restrict free speech. Last but not least is hashtag and sample tweet. Use captions such as "Silencing voices online silences change." Protect your hashtag right to speak MY. It can attract audiences on how important the topics are. Last but not least is ethical and legal guidelines. The campaign strictly avoids hate speech, defamation, or calls for violence. It complies with the CMA 1998 by focusing on factual educational content. And last but not least, it promotes ethical principles like freedom of expression, respect for others' rights, and non-violence. That's all from me. Thank you so much, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aliff Haikal bin Afiza, and I'll present for the poster for the campaign or creative component explanation. Now, firstly, our campaign name is Right to Speak MY, which is Right to Speak Malaysia, and our objective is to raise awareness about the importance of digital free speech and educate the public on how laws
like the Sedition Act and the Communication and Multimedia Acts, or as known as CMA 1998, affect online expression in Malaysia. Our target audience for this is firstly the Malaysia youth, which is within university students, youth entrepreneurs, youth activists, and volunteers. Our second target audience is digital content creators and influencers, like in YouTubers, TikTok creators, bloggers, or even podcasters. And lastly is middle class workers, which work as office staff, journalists, civil servants. Now for slogan, our slogan is your voice, your right. Now for ethical and legal guidelines, our campaign strictly avoid hate speech, defamation, or calls for violence. The second is comply with the CMA 1988 by focusing on factual, educational content. And lastly, we promote ethical principles like freedom of expression, respect for others' rights, and nonviolence. Now, our sample materials is firstly a poster or a banner that features targeted topic of events like use your voice your right slogan. Next is mock social event media post. Malaysians deserve the freedom to speak out without fear and use taglines such as let's stand together for our right to speak in Malaysia. Next is simple action plan. We host a virtual forum on digital rights featuring activists and lawyers, and start an online petition urging reform of laws that overly restrict free speech. And lastly, hashtag and sample tweet. Use captions such as silencing voices online, silences change, protect your right, hashtag right to speak Malaysia. It can attract audiences on how important the topics are. That is all from me. Thank you.
And lastly, for the conclusion, the digital activism empowers individuals and communities to drive social and political change through the use of the internet and also social media, making its advocacy more accessible and immediate than ever before. While it offers a platform to raise awareness, expose injustice, and also mobilize support, it also presents legal and ethical challenges such as censorship, privacy concerns, misinformation, and also online harassment. This report also explores global and Malaysian case studies to show how digital activism can be both effective and also risky. It also highlights the importance of balancing free expression with responsibility, promoting responsible digital citizenship, especially through the education on legal rights and ethical practices, is the key to ensuring digital activism remains a constructive force for positive change in our evolving digital world. That's all from me. Thank you.